Hi, folks. I just want to go ahead and say hello and give folks some time to get on the call. So we're just going to go ahead and wait a few minutes to see if people get on the call. Right. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes and then I'm going to get started if folks are watching the live stream. All right, I see that some folks are watching. Are you guys able to join the Hangout? All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with everybody. So, all right. Sorry, I chose the wrong screen. All right, here we go. This is the one I want, I think. All right. All right, so everyone should be able to see my screen. And we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, and I'm going to share a document with you guys so that you don't need to feel like you have to write everything down that I'm saying. It'll all be shared with you. All right, so we're going to start out just on the homepage of Greenwire that you guys should all be familiar with. So you can see this is really kind of an overview of everything that's going on Greenwire. And a great way to think about Greenwire is with the 3 C's. So the first C is create. So that's our blogs, our photos and videos, and really the way that we're all sharing our stories on Greenwire. So seeing how other groups around the country are getting involved and what kind of activities they're doing, and just seeing how you can take those best practices and really make them awesome for your group. The second C is contact. So you can see people here on the homepage are posting on the public shout box and sharing, pictures and announcements, and really just giving people a chance to meet each other. That's what Greenwire is all about, creating a national community of activists and volunteers so that we can really create a community and really stand together around these issues. And then the third C is coordinate. So coordinate is where you can go and build your group and coordinate events and really reach out to people and recruit folks to your events and use Greenwire as a tool to have a really awesome group. All right, so we're going to start out with your Greenwire profile. So I'm logged into an account right now that is not my regular account. So it's going to look a little bit different than what you guys might see. So I'm going to use my profile as an example for a good profile. All right, so as you can see, this is my profile. And I think the first thing that's really important to note with Greenwire is that we are really trying to inspire people to take action offline. And so that's really what Greenwire is all about. So you want to make yourself as accessible and recognizable as possible so that when people are meeting up with you, off of Greenwire, they are able to see you as someone that's approachable and someone that's a real person, and they can kind of find out things about you based on your profile, and really want to build a relationship with you and really want to get involved with you, which is really cool. So starting and keeping that in mind, your profile picture, you want that to make sure that's a picture of you and a picture that's engaging and really makes people want to connect with you in the real world. Um, so, and you don't want it to be a picture that's kind of like a little weird and makes people think that you're kind of maybe a little shady and not approachable. So that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind. And then your About Me. This is going to be kind of a cut down version of your story of self. So things to include in your About Me are what your job is. Are you a group leader? Are you a community coach? How did you get into this movement? What got you interested in volunteering with Greenpeace? And what made you want to come and build a group? For example, I talk about that I really came to this movement through a deep love of animals and through really a conservation view. And then when I went to college, I learned a lot more about how huge these environmental problems really are, and it became much more of an issue of justice and an issue of people rather than of preserving species and preserving wild places. And then I also just included some interesting facts about me. Like I'm a Texan, I love elephants, I love cats. Um, and then I just put in some photos that I attached into my About Me that you can just see really kind of humanize me a little bit more so that people don't see me as just kind of a random internet person, but as a real person. So that's really important. Um, and then also you can see that a lot of folks have commented on my shout box, and you just want to make sure that when people are engaging with you on Greenwire, especially volunteers from your group, you really want to engage with them and really respond to what they're saying, because that's what's going to make people want to come back to the platform. Because if somebody posts on my wall and I just ignore them for like 2 weeks, they're not going to want to come back to Greenwire. They're not going to want to get involved in my group, and they're not going to want to take action with me. All right, so if I want to edit my profile, so I'm sure you guys are all wanting to go and jazz up your profiles now. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up into this top right corner and click Edit Profile. And then that's going to take you to this page. All right. And so then here's where you can edit all that information that we talked about. So you can change your location and contact details. And also, I just want to make it clear that not everyone on Greenwire can see your contact information. Only you can see that. So staff is able to see that, and community coaches are able to access phone numbers, but you're not just opening up your personal contact information to everyone on Greenwire. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that. So here you can see, this is an okay profile picture. I want to flesh out this About Me a little bit. And then let's say that I wanted to add my Facebook to this. So I can just go and select media, click Facebook, and then I can type in or copy and paste my Facebook URL into this bar right here. And then people have another way to contact me. They can contact me through my Facebook page, which is really cool. And then I can also flesh out my profile with skills that I have. So let's say that I am a painter and I'm a musician, and let's say I'm a campaign fanatic. I love all of these campaigns. I'm really interested in getting involved in all of those things. And that just helps us to really help find opportunities for you to get involved that are really specific to your interests and really specific to your skills. So that's a really great thing to make sure that you flesh out, and to make sure that your volunteers that you're working with are fleshing out. And then the final thing that I wanted to tell you about your profile is your emails and notification settings. So you can choose whether you want to disable your notifications completely, whether you want to receive notifications immediately, hourly, daily, or weekly. And then you can just decide which is going to work best for you. So I would recommend that you at least get your notifications daily so that if events are coming up in your group, then you can find out about those and make sure that you can get involved. And also, if people are reaching out to you with questions about an event that you're hosting, you definitely want to be able to um, be in contact with them as soon as possible. And so then you'll just click save, and that'll save all the changes to your Greenwire profile. All right, so that's all I've got on the profile. And now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about contacting more specific people on Greenwire. So I'm going to go to the Friends tab on my profile. And your Friends tab is a great place to keep in contact with folks that you are going to be working with on a regular basis, or people that you've built relationships with, so that you can really contact them a little more quickly on Greenwire, and you have a place where you can keep a running list of all those people you want to stay in contact with, and you can make sure that it's easy for you to access them. And then if you need help with Greenwire, a great place to go is this Greenwire Help tab, and then click Who's Who. And this is going to take you to a page that has all the Greenpeace Greenwire community managers, which is the National Activist Network staff at Greenpeace. And then also all of our community coaches are down here at the bottom. So if you guys are group leaders, you'll find your community coaches on here, and you can reach out to them with any questions that you might have about tips for building your group or recruitment or anything like that. So in terms of the National Activist Network staff, the people that you're most likely going to be reaching out to are me. So I'm this first one right here, or Dan Cannon. So if you have any questions about Greenwire, we are the best people to go to with those questions. We'll be sure to help you with any troubleshooting or give you any tips, and really just help you use Greenwire to the best of your ability. And then finally, we have Eva here. She's our national coordinator, and she does a lot with our Save the Arctic campaign and implementing those tactics for the campaign and really helping people get involved. So if you're interested in getting involved in the Arctic campaign, then Eva's a really great person to reach out to. All right. So now that we know how to contact people, let's talk about building a group. Right, so once again, we're going to go back to the homepage and to this community tab and click groups. And then this is going to take you to an overview of all the groups on Greenwire. And so when you want to create a new group, you just click add your group. And it's going to take you to this page. All right, so I'm going to show you an example group, so we'll get that up and loading here. All right. So I'm going to go back to my profile. And then if I want to access one of the groups that I'm a member of, I just click My Groups. And then I'm going to go to Greenpeace Chicago, which is going to be our example group today. All right. So I think that Greenpeace Chicago is a great example of a group that is working really well on Greenwire. So you can see that they've been posting photos from events that they had in the last couple weeks around sustainable seafood at Walmart and Target, and really just making it look like they're having a lot of fun, and really making it clear that they're an active group. Because when somebody comes and joins this group, you want to make sure that it looks like people are doing things and there's ways to get involved. And so when someone comes and they think, oh my gosh, it looks like they are having an amazing time and that's an amazing group of people, I really want to get involved with them. And then also we can see Jessica just posted that they're having a campaign action night this Wednesday. So if I'm someone that I'm joining the group, and let's say that this was yesterday, I could say, oh my gosh, there's a meeting tonight. I'm going to make sure that I go to that. And then that person has an opportunity to learn about the meeting, even though someone wasn't able to reach out to her on Greenwire necessarily that day. All right, so when you're creating your group, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. For example, the group name, you want this to be as clear as possible. And since most of you are probably going to be creating local groups, you want to make sure that you have your local group includes the name of the city. So you want to say like Greenpeace Chicago is a good example. So it's pretty clear, Greenpeace office in Chicago. Location, you want to make sure that you would include where your meetings are. Like I said, so that if people are joining the group, they're able to access that information right away. They don't have to wait until someone reaches out to them. The mission and description, this is going to be similar to your About Me on your profile. You want this to be really engaging and really interesting and make people want to engage with you offline and come to your meetings. So for example, you want to include what your goals are, what type of work you do. So Greenpeace Chicago says they were a member of the community coalition that succeeded in closing down the Crawford and Fisk coal plants in Chicago, and they continue making an impact on our national and global campaigns by inspiring community action and really just advancing those objectives. So I think that this could be fleshed out a little bit more, to be honest. And really just talking about the type of activities you do and really just making people want to join your group. So you're also going to want to select 2 images for your group, a big image and a small. So here, the small image that Greenpeace Chicago uses, I think is awesome at one of their shell rallies, because this is really indicative of the kind of work that Greenpeace Chicago does and the way that people can get involved if they join the group. And then the public page, this is going to be where your large image is. And this is what people see when they first come to the group when they're not a member. So they'll see this big Greenpeace Chicago image of the city. And so once again, you just want to make something that's representative of your group. All right, and then finally, like on your profile, you can add your social media if your group has a Facebook page or a Twitter, and you just add in the URL for that. And then you want to make sure that you're including a primary contact at least, and if possible, a secondary contact. So we can say, I want myself to be the primary contact. So I'm going to type that in, and then that'll put me as the primary contact. And then this is really important so that if people have questions about the group, they know who to reach out to. And it's also important for us at the staff end, because if we have a question about your group or we want to help you recruit for an event, then we know who is in charge of the group and who we should reach out to. All right. And then the last thing is just on the group shout box. This is a great place, like I said, to share the stories and share photos of things that have been going on in your group. All right. And then we're going to manage the group. So I can go to this Manage Group tab in the top right corner. And here I will be able to click Manage People. And let's say I'm having a meeting tonight and I want to invite everyone in the group to come to the meeting. So I'm going to click this tab right here next to name, and that's going to select everyone. And I want to make sure I say select all 84 rows so that that's going to select everyone. Then I click choose an operation and click send email, and then click go. And then that is going to take me to send an email. So I say subject, let's say Greenpeace Chicago meeting tonight. And then I can put in all the information about the meeting, make sure that I include the location and what's going to be going on. Something to keep in mind is that this email is going to come from greenwire.usa@greenpeace.org. So it's not going to come from Greenpeace Chicago, and it's not going to come from you specifically. So you want to make sure that it says Greenpeace Chicago in the subject line, because sometimes people are part of multiple groups. And then you also want to make sure that you include your name and your contact information. That way, if they have a question about whatever the email is that you're sending out, they can reach out to you directly and ask you whatever their question is. All right, and then going back to the Manage Group tab, there's a couple other things that you can do here. So we'll go back to manage people. And if I want to set someone as an administrative member, then I can click their name and then click this choose an operation again and say change role and group, and then click go. All right, sorry, sometimes Greenwire's got some issues, but just try to work through them. And if you have any problems like that, you can just tell us about them, and then I can submit a report and we can get that fixed as soon as possible. And then you're just going to go ahead and add administrative member as a role, and then those people that you're setting as an administrative member will also be able to manage your group and edit the group and kind of do everything that you're able to do in the group that you've created. All right. You can also add people to your group. Just click add group members under the manage group tab, and then type in a username. So I'll just type in myself, and then click add users, and then that'll add them to your group. All right. So then the final thing about groups is there are a couple of subscription types that you can do for your group. You can have an open group, an enroll group, or an on invitation group. Open means, just like it sounds, anyone can join the group. They don't have to have permission to join. They can just click that button on the public page and join the group. Enroll group means that anyone can join, but they have to be approved by an administrator. And then on invitation means that only someone that is specifically invited to the group can join the group. All right, so now we'll go to events. So I'm going to go to community and click events. And then I can also access this in a couple different ways. So I can access this through the group that I was in, Greenpeace Chicago. All right, so we'll go back to the Greenpeace Chicago page. And I can click events on this tab menu up at the top. And then I can click this orange button that says add event. And that's going to be the same over here where it says add your event. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up an example event for you guys. All right, so let's use this event from Greenpeace Chicago. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do when you're creating your event is select which group your event is going to be a part of. So you can either make your event for the members of selected groups or for all registered users. So if I say all registered users, this is what we would recommend, because then even people who aren't in your group are able to view the event, and you can go ahead and invite them to the event. Because if it's only for your group, when you invite folks, if they're not in your group already, then they can't see, they can't access the event. So when you're doing all registered users, it's going to pull up Greenpeace Greenwire USA, and that is just the group that everyone on Greenwire is automatically put into. So that's going to make it accessible to everyone on Greenwire. And then you also want to make sure that you're including your group. So Greenpeace Chicago we have here, so that on your group page, the event will show up on your group page. And so when someone is joining your group, they can see that you have an upcoming event. All right, so general information, this is going to be just like your about me on your profile and your description of your group. You just want to say what you're going to be doing. So here it says, join us in a photo petition event to pressure PepsiCo to adopt a comprehensive palm oil policy. Pretty clear, pretty self-explanatory. All right, so what I would add to this group or this event is I would add, obviously we have the organizer up here, that's me, but then I would also add my name and contact information in the description, especially a phone number, because if someone's trying to come to my event and let's say they get lost, the chances that I'm going to be on Greenwire at that time are not really very high. So you want to make sure that you're giving people another way to get in touch with you, so that if they have questions, then they can reach out to you and you can make sure they're able to come to the event. All right, so you're going to select an image. So here you can see this nice photo petition image with the orangutan. That's pretty representative of what you're going to be doing at the event. So you want to make sure that you're posting a photo that's representative. And then select your date and location. You can have either an ongoing event or a one-time event. You want to put your address and a location name. So if you're meeting at like a Starbucks or you're meeting at City Hall, you want to make sure that you're naming what that location is, because that just makes it a lot easier for folks when they're trying to find the event. All right, and then what I think is super cool about events, you can say the roles that you need. So for example, Greenpeace Chicago is doing a photo petition event. So they probably need at least 2 photographers to be there to take all those photos. So we can type in photographer here for role, and then maximum number of people is 2. And then when people RSVP, they can click photographer and then click save. And and then they'll know that they have a photographer that's going to be coming to their event, which is really awesome. All right. So then we're going to go back to this event, and we can click enrollments. And here you can see everyone that's RSVP'd. So right now, only Jessica has RSVP because this event was just posted yesterday. But then you can reach out to her and say, hey, Jessica, thanks for joining my event. I'm really excited to see you there. So just adding that extra level of engagement and really reaching out to people and making them feel like a part of your group and feel like you're really excited to have them is really important. All right, so now we have a group and we have an event. And now we have to get folks to join our group and to come to our event. So we're going to go to community and click members. And this is going to take us to Member Search, which is another really awesome tool that Greenwire has. So this is the best way to find groups, events, and members in your area. So if we're going to stick with the Chicago example, I can go over to this filter right here and type in Chicago, Illinois. And let's say I want to invite folks within a 25-mile radius to come to my event. So I'm not going to type anything in this bar. Only type anything in this bar if you're looking for a very specific person or a very specific piece of content. Otherwise, it's just going to mess up your search. So you don't want to type Chicago, Illinois into this box. You just want to type it into the location range. And then click this orange apply button. And then this is going to pull up everyone that lives within a 25-mile radius of Chicago. All right. So here we have the search results, and we have over 99 people. So a great way to engage with these folks is to go and shout on everyone's individual profile and say, hey, I saw that you're not part of my group yet. You should definitely come and join the group. And by the way, we're having this event. And then you can share the link to that event and invite them to the event. And in the past, that's the best way that we've seen folks really engage on Greenwire and then actually show up to events. So that's a really great tool. And then you can also reach out to Greenpeace staff, and we can send a group email to all of these search results, and you can just send set up a draft email, but it's always a lot better to reach out a little more personally than to just send a mass email. So that's why we really encourage people to do the shouts. All right, and so let's say that I am going to be hosting a huge rally and I want some really amazing banners. And so I want to recruit people that have painting skills. So you remember when we were doing the profile, I added painting as a skill. So I can search people that live within 25 miles of Chicago that have listed painting as a skill, and then I can click apply. And then this is going to pull up everyone that has listed that skill. So then I can reach out to these 8 folks and say, hey, we're going to be having this huge rally. Will you please come out and help us create banners, because I know that we could really use your skills. And this is amazing because this allows people to really bring their own unique skill sets to the movement and to your group and really feel like they're playing an important role. So that's something that is really amazing. You can also search by profession or by school, and I can also search people that are in Greenpeace Chicago. So I can search, I can take this out and click apply, and this is going to pull up everyone that is in my group already. So that's another tool that you can use. And then I can also see, maybe I want to see people who are in Greenpeace Chicago and also people who are in the Save the Arctic group. So I can find the folks that are in both groups and click apply. And that'll bring up all of those folks. So that's a pretty cool tool as well. All right. So we're going to go back to the first C of Greenwire, which was create. So we're going to go to content, and then you can create on Greenwire blogs, news, photos, videos, documents, and ideas. So I'm going to click this content tab. And this is going to take me to news, but I'm going to look at blogs right now. So blogs are a great way to share the stories of what your group has been doing offline and bring those stories back to the Greenwire community and really share your best practices and really create that sense of support and really see how our work is contributing to this movement as a whole. So this is a really exciting way to get people engaged on Greenwire and to really just help us build a community. All right, so I think that a really great example of a blog is this blog that Roshini wrote. And we can see this awesome picture that she shared, and then just like a pretty short blog, but telling this awesome story of how she and her group were able to generate 100 calls to the White House during the call-in week, and that's really amazing. And we can see all the support that she's gotten from folks in the Greenwire community, and this is just a great way to start conversations and really get people engaged and have people see, oh my gosh, that group did amazing work, and you know what, I can do amazing work too. So that's really great. And then we can also post a photo album, which is really cool. So we can see Greenpeace New York just posted a really great photo album from some of their one of their past events that they did, and they have all of their photo petitions encouraging Bumblebee to have sustainable seafood. So this is really great. And once again, it just shows like how much fun people can have when they come together and want to protect the environment. And it's really awesome. And then, so when you want to add content, you're just going to go and select whichever type of content you want to post and then click add. And like your event, you can choose which group you want this to be a part of. So do you want to share this with everyone in the community, or do you only want to share it with the people in your group? So let's say I only want to share this with people in Chicago. So then once again, I'll just put in a title, and then I'll just type up my blog, and I can select a blog image here. And that's going to be the photo that shows up on the side here. And that also shows up at the top of your blog. And then tags, you don't need to use hashtags. You can just type in the words that you want to use. So let's say my group just did an event around the Arctic campaign. And so I'm going to tag Save the Arctic. So then if people are searching and they want to find information about the Arctic campaign and they type in Save the Arctic in the search, then my blog will come up and they'll be able to see it and see that story that I shared. And this content is a great way to really engage your group members as well, because this is something that gives them responsibility and also makes them feel like a part of the group, because they can go and they can share their own story from whatever event or meeting you guys had and share that with the community and really feel like they're a part of the group. All right, and then the final thing that I want to show you guys is documents. So you can post documents for folks to use, and this is really nice. Like we have the new black ice poster. So when we did the black ice screenings, so this is a way that you can share files with folks on the community. So if you come up with a toolkit that you want to share with everyone, or even just share with your group, then that's something that's really awesome. All right, so that is about everything that I have for you guys. And the final thing that I want to say is just to really make sure that you guys know that Greenwire is all about you, and Greenwire is your oyster, and it's really whatever you guys want to make of it. And we are so excited to have you, and we're so excited about all the work that you're doing, and we love to see the stories that you're sharing and the events that you're hosting, and it's really inspiring and really amazing to be able to work with such amazing activists like you guys. All right, so if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me on Greenwire at any time. I love to help folks access all the ins and outs of Greenwire and really see how incredible this tool can be to help you build your groups. All right, well, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining in my training. And like I said, reach out to me anytime. Bye, folks.